So if you've watched any of my collection videos, you know that I have a pretty varied collection. One of my favorite things to do is just pick things up that make my shelves look unique. Not just collect one or two lines. I collect quite a bit of different things to the point where I'm running out of room over and over again and create more room, and then I run out of that room. But in light of that, I picked up this Bandai Tamashii Nations Soul of Chogokin Gipsy Danger figure. I picked it up from freshfigures.com. You can check the link in the descriptions, and they'll take care of you with any figure needs you have. And I had actually seen this in person, messed around with it a little bit, was really amazed at the attention to detail in it. I do have a Hulkbuster, which I think is similar to a Soul of Chogokin figure from SH Figure Arts, but this one just blew me away. So I enjoyed Pacific Rim. I actually just last week saw Pacific Rim Uprising, enjoyed that too. So I don't have a lot of robots outside of a few Transformers and some of the Pacific Rim Uprising figures, so this is going to be a premier showcase piece for me in my collection. So I thought I'd get it out, get it up on the turntable, and let's look at it together and see if it's something you might like to add to your collection. So on the turntable we have the Bandai Tamashii Nations Soul of Chogokin Gipsy Danger figure. And I'm just going to tell you from the very beginning, this figure is incredible from every aspect. It is very heavy. It's a die-cast figure, surprisingly heavy for the size it is. I'd say it's about 8 inches tall. Just look at the detail on the figure itself. This is directly out of the package. There are a number of accessories that I'm just going to show you. This figure really deserves to have a lot of time spent with it, so we're going to spend a lot of time with it. There are light up features, there's other pieces of armor, there's various accessories, there's a stand. You're going to get to see it all. But I just want you to see just the figure itself to begin with, and I'm going to try to show you a little bit of some of the things that are just really impressive. So I ask, just look in at the joints, look at the paint, look at the sculpting, and the level of detail on all of the different joints. Like I mentioned, I have a SH Figure Arts Hulkbuster, which I think a lot of people refer to as a Chogokin type figure, but this is my first pure one from the line, and I am not disappointed. This is from the first Pacific Rim movie, and if you haven't seen either of these, Pacific Rim or Pacific Rim Uprising, I would recommend it. They're good movies. Let me take him down off the turntable, or her, I'm sorry, because Jaegers are female. And I just want to try to show you some of the incredible detail, if I can. So just look as you move the leg joint, different pieces move with it. And I don't know if you can see that, I can't tell. But these move as you move joints. Each thing you move also moves other pieces on the figure, which is a pretty remarkable feat of engineering. So let's try to get some accessories on her and show you some of the other things that come with this Gipsy Danger. Okay, so you know how when you get a Hot Toy Iron Man figure or anything that has light up features, it's really frustrating. You have to put the batteries in this compartment underneath a screw, underneath the removing pieces, and the on-off switch is also there. That's an incredibly frustrating thing. Let me show you how Bandai has solved that problem in a way that it doesn't seem like any of the premium toy manufacturers have found a way to solve it. So the same thing happens. You take off pieces, you unscrew something, you put batteries in, and there's an on-off switch. But then, what is magical about it is once the on-off switch is on, there are other mechanisms, if I can find it, on the toy itself that turn on the lights. So I know that that is blinding the camera, and I'll have it focus better in a second, but on the back of each of the plasma blasters, there was a switch you could pull out, and if you touch the center of the figure, it makes all these lights come on. You don't have to unhook anything and go to the back of the on-off switch or anything like that. They're all accessible. So let me get this where you can see it better, but I just wanted to demonstrate that for you as best that I could. All right, so I have it a little better focused. I added a little light, but you can still see the light up features. The piece you heard fall off, and maybe saw fall off in the shadows, is a frustrating part. Any review I've watched on this, any review you're going to watch on this is going to comment on this. The plasma blasters themselves, the pieces that you take off to put the batteries in and then leave the batteries in, when you reassemble them, they're just finicky. They don't like to stay on, and any little thing will take them off. But that's okay. I mean, once you have it there on display, they're not going to fall off. It's just if you're playing pretty extensively with it, then it will. So here's the way it looks with all the lights on. The two plasma blasters on her arm. The middle part lit up. There's two lights above it, as well as the head. I think it looks just absolutely fantastic. Lit up. And again, on the back of each of the blasters, there's just a little tab. I'm going to point it out right there. If you pull that out, it turns the lights on. If you push it back in, it turns the light off. You don't have to deal with the battery compartment anymore. You can just do it as you need to. For the main lights in the chest and the head, you just touch the big light in the middle and they all turn on. I mean, it's just fantastic. It is so much better than the way every other figure I have with light up does this, because you don't have to have a screwdriver and perform surgery to turn your lights on. So I think this looks great. Let's go into, oh, that's a good thing that happened. The light turned off. So that middle light, once you press it, I think it turns on for 90 seconds and it changes colors. And it turns off on its own. You don't even have to do anything else to it. You do have to turn these off. I'll try to do it where you can see. You just push it back in. When it comes back around, you'll see that that light's off. And so those you do have to get up and turn off. It would have been a dream scenario if when the middle turned off, it turned off all the lights. If somehow they could all be controlled by the same apparatus, that would have been awesome, because then you can display it that way, get up and press it, watch it, enjoy it, and you don't have to worry about it. See, just pressing that button, this little piece fell off again, which is the one we're talking about. It's off the plasma caster itself, and there's a slot right here that it goes into. It's just finicky. And really, you could put any type of putty or something like that in there to help keep it in place just a little bit. I wouldn't use glue, because when you change the batteries, you're going to need to get back to that. So that is with the plasma blasters and the light up feature. Now let's turn the overhead lights back on and look at some of the other features that Gipsy Danger has with her. So I have put her wings on, and I have opened up her panels, put back on the original forearms, and opened up the panels for the elbow rockets, as you can see. Did another articulated pose a little bit with the leg joints. Just look at how it balances on half of the foot there, and you can even see all the intricate details in the joints as it turns around. There you can see the wings that I put on. This figure really is a masterpiece. I should mention here that I purchased this from freshfigures.com. If you check out their site, reach out to them, they'll help you with anything you need. As of recording this, I think they had one more of these in stock, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I'm having as much fun playing with this figure as anything I've done in a long time. It's really good. So I just wanted to show off the wings and the elbow rocket openings. Let's put on another set of her accessories. So here is Gipsy Danger with her chain sword blade accessories on, coming out of her arm area there. I also put on her open palm hands as well, so you could see those. Let's go ahead and press the button so she can be lit up as she comes around. Again, I've got her in a kind of unusual stance here. Look at the articulation joints on the feet. She's not moving at all in this stance. And I don't know how many figures I have that I could put in something like this. Notice that she's falling backwards. Just the joints and articulation is phenomenal on this figure. So you can see the chainsword blades there coming out of her hands. Pretty neat looking. As she turns, we're going to get some of the light up feature again you can check out. But again, I just wanted to show off a different articulation pose along with this accessory. So let's change out and go to yet another set of accessories. So here we have Gipsy Danger with her chain sword whip accessory on. Again, just an outstanding accessory. It's going to be very difficult to pick what I display her as. Although I say that when I show you the final accessory here upcoming, you're going to see that maybe that decision makes itself. But so many good accessories, so many good features of this figure. I can't speak highly enough about it. This is something you've got to have in your collection. Whether you like robots, Pacific Rim, die-cast stuff, just good things, this is something you need. So that's the chainsword whip attachment. Interesting thing to note about both of the sets of chainswords is the textures. You can see right here the texture. It is different on each side. And neither side looks bad. Neither side necessarily looks correct to me. So there are even more display options when it comes to those chainswords. So I'll let her turn around one more time so you can see these chainsword whip features. Again, just look at all this detail. It's just stunning, the level of detail that Bandai has put into this figure. So there she is for the last time. And now let's get out the final accessory and show you what she looks like with that. So turning around, you see Gipsy Danger with her final accessory, this ridiculously sized tanker, which is just one of the coolest accessories that I think has ever come with a figure. She has special hands that will grip the tanker. You can see on her left hand, that hand is designed to grip it. The right one can hold it as well. This is where the Jaeger swoops up, picks up the tanker out of the water, and uses it as a melee weapon, which is a fairly cool scene in the movie. And as cool as all the other accessories we've looked at are, I do not think I can do anything other than display her with this in long periods of time. I'll get all the other stuff out and play with it, make pictures and videos with it, but this is the permanent display. This was the piece de resistance that sold me on it, having this great big boat. Think of all the different ways you can use this in your collection. So that tanker is just an incredible piece. Let me get her on the stand and we'll wrap up, talk about my closing thoughts on this figure, and go from there. One final time before we do that, let's let her turn around and you can see, look at the details on the tanker just from the back here, the gold. You can see where it's been indented and squished from her picking it up. Just the attention to detail and everything in this is just impeccable. Like nothing left unseen, nothing left forgotten about. So there you see the final piece, the tanker. Let's get her on her stand and wrap this up. So let's talk final thoughts. You see the stand there, Soul of Chogokin Gipsy Danger. The stand is, fairly plain. It's a crotch grabber type stand that's not a traditional crotch grabber. It kind of fits custom to her crotch area there to help her stay in place. So you can have some articulation on the stand. I switched the hands just to show you both hands can interact with this ship some form or fashion. But overall, this is just a 9.5, if not a 10 out of 10. There are some little frustrating things like the pieces of the plasma cannons falling off, the plasma casters. And, you know, the stand could be better, some of that stuff. But that is very minor in its griping. You know, it's when you have a figure this expensive, there's going to be all types of movable pieces and parts that, you know, have to be able to fall off easily to help make sure nothing breaks. So I don't complain too much about that. The accessories are awesome. The lighting features is just fantastic. You can get her really close to standing on one leg. I got really close to being able to do it on the turntable and take some pictures, but it's only gonna stay up for a couple seconds. I think you can get her in the Matrix pose. I had her for about 15 seconds in the Matrix pose before she started to fall. So if you want to do some nice photographs with her, even just really minor supports that you could hide behind her legs would make a lot of stuff really possible. So it's just all around a fantastic figure, and I highly recommend it. If you're going to get it from freshfigures.com, and he will take care of you there. If you want to see me do other reviews of things like this, I do own a lot of Hot Toys, 6 scale, other premium type figures. And I do hunts, I do drone videos, I do quite a bit of stuff. So let me know what you like. Subscribe, comment, like, and share this. Tell your friends about it. And I appreciate you watching. I'm going to roll some pictures here so you can see some of the different pictures I took of this Soul of Chogokin Gipsy Danger. Thanks for watching.